Hey, what's going on? It's Jono here. So today I thought I'd share with you something that I shared earlier was a post of a meme or comic where someone was, so the comic went like this. And if you haven't seen it yet, it's on my Facebook page. So it goes like this. One person says, I have a cookie. The other person says, I have a new sports car. Big house, lots of outfits. And then the other person says, do you have a cookie? The other person says, no. So another one goes, here, have a cookie. Now, everyone's got different interpretation of this comic, which is amazing. But what does this comic mean to you? And if you haven't seen it yet, go to my Facebook page and just have a look. So what I wanted to talk about is it doesn't matter what other people have that you may not have in your life. And this goes also back to another post I made about comparing your life to someone else's. Now, we all have different aspirations, different achievements we want in life. We all have a different background. We all have different skills. We all grew up in different cultures, different environments. And so when people say your environment dictates your success, your achievements, and what you get and have in life, it plays a big role, right? It plays a massive role. And we all have to understand that everyone's on a different journey. No one is on the same journey. There is no one on the same journey. There's people who could be on the same path as you, but the challenges and the setbacks and the achievements and the way that they handle their challenges and their obstacles is completely different to how you would have handled yours. You may have similar challenges, but the way you deal with it personally as individuals would be completely different. What you may find as stressful may not be stressful for someone else. What someone else finds as stressful, you may take it as a breeze and be as calm as a bee. I like that one. Calm as a bee. So everyone has different ways and different emotions and different skill sets and different attributes on handling and tackling tension, situations, behaviors, right? Some people could be calm in chaos, and some people in chaos can just be overwhelmed, right? Everyone has a different way of dealing with things. So when people are saying, I have a sports car, I have loads of outfits, I have a big house, and all of that jazz that you may not have yet, or you may not even be chasing those kind of things, right? So you got to know what you want in your life in order to not be distracted by other people. And I see this a lot of the times, especially with my clients, is that they're always, a lot of the time, because most of the time, is comparing where they are at to someone else's journey, right? Someone else could have taken 10, 15, 20 years to get to where they are. You can't just jump straight into where they are at without putting in the work, without overcoming and creating and overcoming the obstacles that needs to be done in order to achieve what you want to achieve, right? Everyone has a different path, different journey, and along the way, which was what I mentioned in the post, was that some people will lose friends, some people will lose family, And some people just lose that connection with those around you. And that's okay, right? It happens. As much as you love or I love to have everyone stay in my life, it just doesn't happen that way. I've created societies. I've looked after over 150, 200 members at university. I've had many people, thousands of people on my Facebook network. But people come and go. People stay for like a duration of the time, and then they disappear. I was like, okay, that's cool. Like they literally just disappear. No contact, no keep in touch or whatnot, despite with the technology and connection that we have right now. People just choose not to stay in touch. So, and that's okay, right? You lose some and you find some. And that's just a part of life, right? You can't keep everyone in your circle. As much as I'd love to. I love to be in touch and have a deep, meaningful connection with each and every one of you. But I know, even for me in your life, I would probably be around for a few years and I may just disappear from your records or whatever journey you're at. And that's okay, right? If I'm able to be a part of someone's life journey, that's amazing, right? But understand this, that some people will stay, some will not. Those that do stay, cherish them and appreciate them. I mentioned this. Cherish and appreciate them like they are your blood family, and really build and bond that connection. And I try and do this with each and every one of the people that I meet, but I know that's not possible. As much as I love to have a massive circle of friends or inner circle and all that kind of good stuff in relationships and partnerships and friends and network, I know that it can't happen for everyone. And it's not, some people would wish to be good friends. Some would just keep in touch. Some people will support you along the way. And you just got to accept what comes your way, and what happens in the friendship, in the relationship, in the partnership, in the companionship, that you'll have the good times and you'll have the bad times. And if they aren't willing to go through the bad times with you to get to the good times, then you may be better off not just being each other's friends, to be honest. If your values and your beliefs align and you stick together throughout that period or that duration, fantastic. Keep it up. It's hard work. Like any relationships, partnerships, companionships, friendships, it takes work, right? It's both ways. It's never one way. And I've had many times in my journey where it's just been I was always the one giving. I was always supporting. I would do everything I can to support, nourish, cherish, make sure that they're looked after, taken care of, supported, and everything, right? And not because it's my duty as the club president at university to look after the members. It was just my nature. I would take care of people around me generally. Those that are in my circle, in my friendships, in my network, I would always look after them no matter what it is. If they have a problem, I will try and support, solve, and help them out. It is just my nature to help people. And so, I do everything I can to help and support. Some people would appreciate it. Some people would love it. Some people would just generally be like, oh, cool, you helped me out, and just forget and ignore that I even did so. And that's okay too, right? I don't aim to please. I don't aim to try and satisfy everyone. Well, I try and help everyone as much as I can, but I know that not everyone will appreciate the help, the support, And that's something that you generally have to accept when you're in the position of servant leadership, or you choose to be of service to others. That is something that you just got to accept, that not everyone will appreciate and cherish what you do for them. And I don't never expect to receive anything back or to have anything, but at least respect is probably the least I would expect, is respect. But if you can't even give that, then it's just like, well, go on your own and do your own thing. I think respect and integrity and loyalty is probably, for me, is part of my core values, is what I live by, what I stand by, and those that have the similar values as me would be still in my connection, in my network, and those just understand each other, right? In servant leadership, you get, I do too make mistakes, I do too not communicate well. There are times where I made bad decisions. There's times where I make good decisions. Not everyone's going to support your decision that you make. And you just got to accept, okay, fine, I can't please everyone, but I will try and do my best to do what I can with what I have, with what I know. Some people will like it, some people will not. And again, that's okay too, right? You just have to accept. Not everyone's going to be on the same channel as you, not on the same frequency, not on the same journey. Some people will turn off the next exit. Some people will turn off the next junction. Some will accompany you throughout. If they're on the same path, they're on the same journey. And some people will come and go, right? Everyone just comes and goes. People appear in your life to teach you a lesson. Whether it's a good lesson or a bad lesson, that's up to you to decide. It's down to your personal perspective on how you take it, how you handle it. And I've had many times where I've had serious discussions with people and be like, this friendship isn't working out. The way we work isn't working out, or the way we talk to each other isn't working out, the way we treat each other isn't working out. Let's just part ways, right? That's just how it happens. And you just never know who's willing to stick by you, who's not willing to stick by you. And you'll find out very quickly through interactions, through conversations, about those that are wanting to stay in your circle and those that don't. And you just got to accept where you get positioned or placed in their priority list, and that's just the way it is. It's a sad thought or a sad thing, but it's just the truth, right? Once you accept the people in your life, where they're at, and where you're at in their priority list, that's cool too. Whether you get invited to events and whatnot that's organized by them, you kind of figure out and be like, yeah, I didn't want to go anyway, or that's not really who I am. Some people that still go clubbing and all that, I was like, yeah, I'm out of that phase now. I'm now in the phase of creating, serving, and really helping people out. I've gone out of the phase where I'm just partying and getting mashed and getting drunk and getting slaughtered and not feeling well the next day. It's tiring, right? So you really have to understand that. Where am I now? And who's on the same mission as me? Who's on the same purpose as me? Who's striving or looking for their purpose? Who are those that are creating a massive wave of difference they want to make? They want to make an impact. They want to be inspirational. They want to influence other people. They want to be better for the better world. They want to make a difference, right? And you can't really serve people when you're drunk, slaughtered and tired and lethargic and being miserable and unhappy, right? If you can't look after and serve yourself first, you won't be able to look after other people. I always go on and I always talk about this because as someone who does leadership, who train people on leadership and talk about leadership, I have to live leadership. I have to live and breathe it. And it's important for me to walk the talk, live my talk, and be an example to the world, right? Hey, Scott. Hey, Jeff. Great to see you. People... Oh, I like this one. People come into our lives for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. Let's see what else Scott says. Oh, I like this one. I become resentful about price at times. Yeah, I used to do the same. I used to be resentful for those that don't give back. But I kind of figured out over time that no matter how much I give, I know I won't get the same thing back, or same support, or same level of help. But if I do, then I'm grateful and I'm appreciative that it does come back. And I always believe in karma, right? Just because in one person you give to doesn't give back to you, doesn't mean someone else in your life or in the journey won't give you something else better. So I always believe in good karma, and it's something to just, I suppose, be grateful that we get to make a difference, that we get to serve and help someone else out, and be a difference, be a better difference in someone else's life. I suppose that's just part of my nature in my leadership. It's in my philosophy, in my values, to be someone of use, someone of problem solving. Be the solution in someone else's life. I think that's a good way of summing up. Be a solution to someone else's life. And I've always aimed to be the problem solver and the solution in people's lives. I always figure out or learn how to be a solution to someone else. And if I don't have the answer to it, I would find someone else that does and still give back the person that needs it, with that answer, with that help, with that solution. So this cookie scenario, which I found interesting because I see the cookie as a piece of my heart, right? The cookie is like a piece of my heart. I could give people miniature pieces of cookies that could count as my time, that could count as my advice, that could count as my appreciation, that could be count towards as my support or my gratitude. It could be anything of me, right? It's just a piece of my heart. And a lot of people have pieces of my heart, whether you're in my fire team, in my entrepreneurship circle, in EWD, in my mastermind in sales, in my digital leadership circle, or in the entrepreneurship circle, right? In the industry or in marketing circle, whatnot, wherever circle, everyone has a piece of me in to support them, right? Everyone has equal amounts. Some people have more pieces of cookie than others because maybe we spend more time together or we just have more connection. And these are the type of things, right? Everyone says they build know, like, and trust. And everyone's got a different phase or different level of bar that they know, like, and trust someone, right? You may know, like, and trust one of your best friends more than you do a friend that you met at a pub, right? Of course, you don't know that person that well, whereas you know your best friend for many years, or you've gone through many things together, so you have different know, like, and trust factors. And that's just the same in any circle. And if you're able to treat everyone as equal, which is cool, it's very hard to do, I know, because there are times where you just be like, there is bias going on, right? You do know, like, and trust some people more than you would others. And that's just how, I suppose, the human psychology is designed, I would say, but someone could dive into that a bit more differently, or a bit more about how we generate the know, like, and trust factors and different know, like, and trust stuff. But I always find it fascinating that I always give people a piece of cookie. Whether they want to take it or not, that's up to them, right? If someone is appreciative of the cookie that they take, maybe I'll start adding more to it. I'll give them more pieces. And it's just a funny word. I don't know why this story came up that, I've given cookies to people and I've had cookies thrown back in my face, right? I've had times where people I've helped for many years, supported for many years, and they would just backstab me because we had a sour conversation, or they didn't like the decisions that I was making, and they decided to backstab me by talking negatively about me, spreading rumors about me, and causing stirring trouble with my friends that we both know in different circles. And that's how toxic some people can be. And over time I learned, like, wow, I've known this person for so many years and I did not know how toxic they can be. And I rather have found out the hard way by going through that process, that I now are more careful about who I trust with with who I trust. It's really damaged the way I trust people. Like, used to, I would trust people with very openly and very easily, but I've had to adjust the way I trust people, and people have to meet certain criteria to gain my trust, because I don't want to suffer the pain that I did previously. And we all go through the same thing, right? We've always had something like your past friends, past partners, whatever, that you've had some sort of bad experience that makes you lose confidence a bit more, and you drop off with how you trust people, how open you are with people, information and things you share with people, how vulnerable you are to people, how easily opening up you are with other people, right? And as always, I've always been transparent, as vulnerable as I can, and I'm happy to be as transparent as possible with everyone. And I'm okay with that because I've gone through that process. I've overcome what I needed to overcome in order to get to where I am now, in order to be calm and collective and okay with talking about my vulnerabilities, my challenges, my weaknesses, and all sorts of things that no one really talks about, right? Which is why, the unspoken truths of digital leadership is out, and the podcast, and the content that I make, everything that I talk about is all part of my past history, past story, experience, but things that I've overcame and practices that I do throughout going through this process. And it's been exciting, it's been fun, it's been tough, it's been challenging, but what I learned is also what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And I always strive to be stronger than I am the day before. So who I am today is not who I am yesterday, is not who I am the 2 days before. And we're constantly evolving, right? Or at least I aim to be. I'm constantly educating myself, growing, developing, and pushing through. And I always believe that that's one way of doing things, especially in my line of work, in being a digital leadership strategist, being a coach, helping experts and entrepreneurs it's the game that we play. We play the growth game. If we're not growing, then we're dying. It's simple as that. And you'd be fascinated, right? Some people would be comfortable where they are at, and that's okay, right? This path of entrepreneurship, being a business owner, being a strategist, being self-employed is not a game for everyone. It's a game for those that are willing to settle down, those that can't be confined, those that don't like rules, those that don't like to be held hostage by other people, that don't want to be governed by other people. It's a rebel game. I would say entrepreneurship and self-employment and freelance, it's like it is a rebel game. We don't like to be confined into a box. And those that are willing to take risks, big, massive risks, right? It is not a game to be played by those that don't like uncertainty. Like, one day could be good, one day could be bad, one day could be hell, one day could be heaven. That is how extreme this game can be. And I noticed not everyone is up for this game. And even I still question myself, my sanity about why am I playing this game? Why am I in this game? But over the last few years as well, I've noticed and developed skills to help me overcome these waves of challenges and what's been thrown at me and how I have to adjust each and every day is different. And there's a I would say consistency is hard, and discipline is also one that we have to make sure we're focused on, because if it's not in our routine, if it's not in our habits, it's hard to be tracked and measured. Which I noticed, those who created the 9-to-5 structure in an office, during that 9-to-5, they work solid for that 9-to-5. After the 9-to-5, they spend time with their family, partners, friends, whatnot. That's cool. But those that are constantly working are always either working between 9 a.m. till, or even 7 a.m. till 9 or 10 p.m. And it's like you work more than 12, 13, 14 hours a day than you would in a normal 9-to-5 office environment. Some people are wired to do that, and it's, once you're chasing I would say, mission and a purpose, you just want to spend as much time as you can to make it happen, make it work, and also serve the people that you want to serve and help the people you want to help. And there's always something, we could be doing, especially in my timeline, that I've noticed is one moment I could be building someone's website. Next, I could be coaching someone. Next moment, I could be strategizing for someone. Next, it could be map planning for someone, streamlining systems and softwares and automations. Then it would be building confidence in some people, in coaching. So it varies. And the next moment, it could be a deep dive into someone's shadow work, deep root about what's causing them conflicts, their relationship with themselves, their relationship with their parents, their relationship with their childhood. That's how much, I suppose, variety I go through in a day. It just changes from one moment to the next. There is no consistency in how I've been building it. It's weird. And then creating content, right? I could be making videos like this. where I'm sharing with you my story, my journey, my experience, and the fascination of my thought process. Because it was just, I think yesterday or the day before, I went into comparison mode. This is the dangerous mode. Dangerous zone to be at, especially when you're, I would say, in your circle that is not, it doesn't look as ideal as it does to other people. And what I say other people is your parents or my parents, right? Let's see. I've got this post here that I made the other day. Was it's easy to get caught up comparing your life to someone else's journey and their successes, right? Whatever it means. So once you realize you haven't achieved what you want compared to someone else's, this is dangerous, right? Especially if you start looking at your circle and your circle of friends, then you start looking at the people that you admire. Everyone's on a different journey, right? Most, I would say about 70% of my friend circle, of my age especially, are either married or have kids, or they got property, and they're starting their own family and whatnot, right? And if I was to compare myself, then I'm far away from that. I've just got engaged with my fiance in February earlier this year. And the thing is, marriage isn't on our agenda as high priority. On our priority list is getting our own place, having our own house. That's more important than marriage, than having a pen and paper on a piece of paper to say we're married, right? And so it's important to know what is success to you and what's important to you, because if we start comparing, be like, oh, everyone's starting kids, everyone's having family and all that stuff, and we're not, then we would just be going through this like dark phase of comparison, and that is the worst thing you can do, especially if it's not right for your timeline right now. You got to know where you are at in your time, in your plan, in your life. Are you happy with what you have? And because it's easy, right? Me and my fiance, we could just say we could have children, but if we do, then it'd be very tough because we'd have to travel between two households. It'd either be my house in where I am, or it goes to her parents, and we'd be traveling back and forth, and it would be very hard for the child to have a stability, and also for us to have consistency, right? Where do we build our business? Do I build my business in my place, or do we build her business in her place for her baking business, right? And then you got all of these things that you have to know and consider, right? Yes, we can do the travel between two households. It's not impossible, but we rather won't prefer that lifestyle, right? So you got to know what you want, and if you're okay with where you're at as well. And that's something that I learned just the last few months, really, going, not just comparing. I stopped comparing a long time ago, but it is easy to just have this thought and be like, oh, where am I at now compared to my friends, right? And you'd be like, oh, my friends have got this and this and this, and I haven't. It's like, but do you really want the things your friends have got, right? Because it's easy. I could look at my friends and be like, I really don't want to live the lifestyle they are living, or the way they are doing it. It doesn't really suit me or suit us. Just because someone else is doing it doesn't mean we have to do it. And you just got to have that uncomfortable or comfortable conversation about being clear, clear about what you want. And so this is what I found was fascinating was when you start self-sabotaging yourself. You start doing things that aren't true to yourself or doesn't really represent who you are. You know, a lot of my friends are saying, "Oh, let's go back into property." I'm just like, well, for me, I did property 7 years ago, and I was like, it was completely the wrong time for me to do property because I wasn't set up. I didn't really have the stable income. I didn't enjoy bricks and mortar, to be honest. So I wasn't in the right mindset. I was dabbling it, and obviously I came out of it and be like, phew, right? And so you got to find out what's good for you. You know, I've done the trading, online marketing, affiliate marketing, and paid ads, and all sorts of whatever get rich quick schemes that you can, network marketing. And it's like, well, I tried all those, but I didn't enjoy them, so they weren't for me. But at least I tried them, so I know what I don't want. So now when I'm building my own consultancy business, I'm looking at what elements of what I learned can I use in my business that I did like. Because each one, each place, each thing can make you a lot of money, whatnot, and it's all great. But what can I use and adapt and implement into my own business that would streamline and give my clients a better experience and a better solution? That's how I look at things now. If I learned something or I'd used something in the past and be like, okay, that's good, I could park that and use that later, then I would do so. So that's another thing. I'm going off my original topic of who do you want to share your cookie with now. But understanding this was a huge thing for me, and completely being okay with people coming and going in your life was a huge factor, right? As much as I love to hold on to people in my life that comes into my life, and I know for a fact that they won't stay for ever. I know they'll probably stay for a few years or many years, which is great and amazing. But I also accept the fact that if they don't stay, that's okay too. And that's if our friendships do stay connected throughout the number of years, it just shows that there's still connection there, right? Especially on you people you keep in contact with on Facebook, whether they're your friends, your university friends, or school friends, or colleagues, right? Everyone will go through their own phases, their own journey, and it's always, how should I put it? It's okay, right? Everyone's on a different journey, and just understand, just because you're not on the same journey as them, it's still okay, right? And what I find even more fascinating nowadays is people just argue over trivial things, trivia things, whatever, whatnot, things that don't really make a difference. I would say, people are having different disagreements or different beliefs, or especially nowadays, like, I don't even go into it, but you got the politics stuff. You don't agree. It's like, why can't you just have an open discussion and of conversation and fascination, open mind to understand each other? We tend to nowadays be like, oh, you don't believe what I believe in, I'm going to unfriend you. It's like, really? So I've seen many of my friends who has had or have different beliefs and things about what's going on in the world right now and all that sort of things, but I don't go and go, oh, they don't think like me, therefore I'm gonna unfriend them. I'm more fascinated about why they think like that. I'm more fascinating about having a conversation with them and be like, hey, I saw you do that post the other day. Why do you say that? or what has made you led to come to that conclusion. And that's something I think we lost touch is having that open connection and conversation, and the willingness to have the uncomfortable conversations instead of just removing people because they don't believe in what you believe in, or they don't share the same opinion as you. And people lose friends over that. I just find it fascinating that people would be willing to give up their friendship and connection because they don't believe or have the same opinion that they have over things. And it's just like, well, okay, why can't you just openly share and discuss it instead? So this, I'm going off tangent again. As always, my Facebook lives or lives has never gone according to short. But yeah, sharing the cookie. Who will you share your cookie with today? If it was, I counted it as a piece of my heart, which is my time and support that I give to people that can connect with me. I give them a piece of my cookie. Whether that cookie grows or give them more cookies is a different story, right? But in your life, who are you sharing your cookie with that doesn't share the same beliefs or values or conversations and ideals as you are? And are you willing to give them a cookie, a piece of your cookie, even? So thank you all for tuning in and watching the video. I hope you found it useful. I thought I'd just come on and just do a share and a debrief of my thought process and a few things that have been going on in my story, my head, the last few days. And I thought I'd just come on and just unwind. If you found it useful, please let me know as well. I'll be doing more of these as usual. And much love to you. And I'll see you in the next video.